Let's talk a little bit. We'll do a little kind of quick history. We'll start with you, Brad, and just kind of what got you started writing. What was your first published work?
I used to write in high school all the time. Did a lot of crappy adventure things that were really horrible if I read them now, but it was fun to write then. And I did some horror writing when I was in high school, and had got talked to about one of the stories. And apparently my dad said, "That horror stuff, no one will ever buy that crap." I was like, "Oh, okay, whatever." And I read this one story about Santa Claus who turned into a werewolf and killed a whole bunch of people. Got an A on it. Teacher was kind of thought it was weird. After that, I joined the Navy, and I didn't really write much at all. I was too busy with stuff. Had a kid, had another kid. Got divorced. Met up with my lovely wife Tracy, and she kind of helped me jump back into writing again. And I started doing NaNoWriMo, which is November National Novel Writers Month. We read a 50,000 word story in 30 days, which was actually how this came about in one of those. But my first published work I did was for the Library of the Living Dead, which was in this anthology, the anthology called Zombology, a zombie anthology. And the story was Children of Lansford Towers, which takes place 50 years after this story. And when they're older. Jake is actually, who was mentioned in this one, he is the elder telling the story in that novel. He's talking to the kids and telling them about the time before when they had airplanes and oceans, and they didn't know what an ocean was because they grew up in a tower surrounded by Walking Dead.
Very cool. Mike?
My first published story was called Fuck You, E.T. to Library of Horror Press. I don't know, I got into writing, I guess, after I read the Morningstar Saga, the first two of those. I was reading that and I was like, well, shit, this guy's telling a great story. Me and my friend Steve over here always talk about it, so just started writing. That's pretty much it. Nothing really history-wise or anything.
Gotcha. I'm going to modify one of the questions that I've kind of been asking. But when you're in your writing process, you've gotten it through. What's the editing? Are you doing your own editing, or are you giving that off to somebody? And do you prefer editing your own material versus having it edited for you?
For me, on this one, I had some guy edit this book. He was a moron. Oh, it was actually him. He actually edited the Lansford. Currently, I'm writing I got a web novel that I'm doing called Bound Between. BoundBetween.com. It's a Western supernatural-ish afterlife angels that you never heard of. There's a bunch of interesting stuff. On that one, I rewrite and write and rewrite again, and I have, my wife looks at it, and I have another person who looks at it too, and gives her opinion, because I know I can't spell things certain times. Dyslexia hits in, and get the T-E-H word in. Yeah, so, yeah, I always want other people to look at it, because I know how bad I am.
For me, I'm fortunate enough to have a tight-knit group of online friends. One right there likes to just take a look at things, let me know where I'm messing up, and then I can't really edit my own work. I miss the T-E-H, and then the T-H-A, and then just the T.
I get that on the third shot.
Yeah, so it's just easier to have someone else look at it.
Yeah, I definitely think that it's important to have that outside influence.
Yeah, I want somebody else to tell me, that was stupid right there.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
Yeah, just, especially when you first put something down, even if you have rewritten it several times, you think it's brilliant. The first draft was great, but I rewrote a few pages yesterday, and it's even better, and then you really need somebody to walk in and go, really? Is that what you're doing? Is that how you're writing this, So I agree with you both. You have to take that step back and let somebody else who's not so close to these things look at it for you. I really think in the long run, it may be a lot of arguments, and it may be a lot, I can't stand this guy, you know, how dare they say that about me and about my work. But in the end, you know, when that clicks between the writer and whoever is helping you in that editing process, I think it really, the end product is far superior.
It only makes the story grow.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Even if they cut out a whole bunch of words.
Absolutely. Yeah, one more question, then I'll turn it over and see if anybody in the audience has any questions. What, since you're both part of the small press community, what's your opinion? Are you very happy that you've discovered the small press community? Would you like to see it changed? You know, again, it's more of an opinion piece. You know, if I had my way, what would I do to the, you know, for the small press community?
I'm glad I found a small press community, and it's helped me get a lot of things out there that I hadn't been able to before. Writing for stuff too. It's short, and a lot of it's mostly short stories that I have out. I have like 5 or 7 altogether that have been accepted. When we'll go out, and some are in print already, and the others are in that in-between phase of, yeah, it's accepted. It'll get out eventually. I like being able to just get that part out there. Not really sure what more I'd change. I would like, I'd like to get this into Kindle format, but currently, yeah, with what I'm currently working on, I'm just doing it as a web novel for free, just because I'll eventually rewrite it and try to send it out somewhere, but it helps me with the editing thing too, because then you got a whole lot of people telling you just write something stupid. Not that I've had it happen yet, but I'm sure it will happen eventually.
Mike?
All right, I'm pretty glad I found the small press. If it wasn't for Doc, the Library of the Living Dead, and all the librarians over there, not like I'm Stephen King or anything, but I wouldn't be the writer that I am today, you know. So as far as changing anything, I just wouldn't change a thing about it, I guess. Just watch who you get published through, because some of those companies out there, they're not willing to pay, they're not willing to promote, and they just want to make money off your story, whether it's the best story in the world or the worst, you know. So but I guess I changed that, changed how some small presses work. But
yeah, there's some redefined print things on
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
there. You give us our story, we can sell it as a movie. No, you cannot sell it as a story. I don't. It's the same thing with Doc. It's like when I had my first story published through Library of the Living Dead, and that's where it all started from there. Because after I got that one, I was like, okay, let's jump into this a lot more, and everything just started flowing in my head, and I stare off into space, and Tracy's like, you're thinking, aren't you?
Very good. Anybody have any questions? If not, I will jump into more of mine. That young man behind the camera does.
Modern technology, how do you think it affects getting your story out, getting your name out, getting your personality out, doing the whole marketing, and how the stuff happens?
I suck at marketing myself. But
He's the guy with the toe tag.
I can do this stuff, the electronic marketing. I mean, I can do paper stuff and hand out and do really great stuff. The electronic marketing that like people do on Twitter and Facebook and whatever, I will do it occasionally. I just don't like shoving it down, because half the time I go, okay, if you're following me on Twitter, you probably know I have a book out, so I'm gonna send it out there once. Facebook, I'm not a big fan of the Facebooks. It's the devil. I just work on it. I don't know. I just start doing it.
Yeah. I think with the technology, everyone's a writer. I mean, it's easy to format a book or a story for Kindle, so you just get it, put it out there, put it on Smashwords, stuff like that. And I mean, you know, I think it's making everyone think that they're a writer, and there's truthfully a lot of really good stories out there because of the technology. I mean, if you couldn't do the print on demand or anything like that, a lot of these good stories you'd probably never even know. I probably wouldn't even be into writing. So.
Yeah, it definitely is a double-edged sword, for exactly the reason that you said. Everybody thinks they're a writer.
Yeah.
All right.
You know, I mean, I do tend to think you'll find that in a lot of professions, or in, you know, people call themselves, I'm an artist, you know, or I'm whatever, you know. There's the charlatans out there, and I do think with, you know, the electronic formats. It's very easy for those people to just get out there and continually blast and look at me, look at me, look at me. And I really think that's part of what it is. It's just look at me, you know. Maybe mommy and daddy didn't give them enough attention when they were young, so, and this is their particular outlet, but I don't know what that is. Maybe that's another discussion.
You either got to have the thick skin about it to go, okay, you either like it or you don't, and I'm fine with that. If you tell me you hate this book and it's the worst thing you've ever read, okay, that's fine. I've had people tell me stuff like that about other things that I've done. This is the worst thing I've ever heard, or whatever. I'm like, well, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Go find somebody else and tell them you like them. That's fine with me. Next.
Anyone else?
I told him a little embarrassing.
Why would you want to do that?
Because he's a good friend.
That's why he wants to embarrass you.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll jump into one of my other questions. Zombies. You know them, you love them.
Right there.
There's one right behind me. Are you a subscriber to the notion that zombies are just, they're the backdrop, they're the vehicle for the story, and that what the humans are doing is really the focus, and they're what, you know, we're more interested in the pitfalls of the people rather than just the horde of zombies ripping said person open and pulling the innards out, eating them?
I say when people come up to this is my survival novel, and it has zombies in it, because it's character driven. It's all about the people, and there's zombies in it on the side. And it's I go with that whole, the people are what makes the thing. The undead in the background are things that you just don't want to eat. But eventually they're on the other side of that door, and once you get involved in one of those characters, oh, they're gone.
Well, I think the two sound opposite. Like his is more about the survivors. You can kind of find a favorite and cheer for them. Where yours sounds like it's more about you're going to be able to get to know the zombies
Yeah,
and cheer for them.
Exactly.
That's exactly what I'm trying
So
to do.
that's
Exactly. Everyone
cool.
needs to cheer for a zombie. They need love them too. So,
Mhm.
But what you were saying.
Sucking up to Zach does not mean you will
Oh
not
no!
be
He already gave me some cookies, so I'm good. But I would definitely say, yeah, you need to find something to invest in, and it has to be the character or at least like the surroundings. But if I wanted to invest in blood, guts, and gore, I'd watch Dead Alive 30 times a day. I mean, so I'd definitely say it's I'm all for characters.
Great. Let's see. Well, we did talk about you know, the electronic formats. What you're feeling with that? You think, are you happy that it's really going in that direction with the Kindle and the Nook, or are you saddened by the loss of the actual, you know, printed books? I mean, many of us still get the printed books, but
Yeah, I don't own the Kindle, so just I find it would be, I don't know, it's a two thing. I find that the Kindle would be nice to have for certain things like referencing and being able to pull up other stuff and going on a trip and going, okay. I like to have it. You can't sign a Kindle.
They actually have e-signature.
Yeah, it was actually after I said that.
Yeah.
Well, there's an
About that.
e-signature thing, but yeah.
Anyone can do that.
I could do that. You
Yeah.
ever look, I don't know, you signing e-signatures the same way, like if you sign it in the store when it looks like, what the hell is that? I'll crack up that, but I don't know, I would like to put it on Kindle because I do have people ask for it, but
absolutely.
my next one will be on there, definitely. It'll probably just be done as an ebook anyhow.
I gotta tell you, I wouldn't be able to read as much as I do read without the Kindle app on my Android. So, but nothing can replace the just holding a book and then just smelling the pages. I mean, just because I read it on the Kindle, I still get the book. So it is kind of saddening. I think print's gonna be dead here soon. At least like trade paperback. It's just almost gonna be a dead technology here in probably 20 years.
Yeah.
So, which kind of sucks. But
Like, yeah, I have this stack of books series called The Traveler from 1980s, and I have those still in the garage. I have all of them. And it was like, if I had them on electronic format, it wouldn't hold the same feel because it's something I've had for that long. It's just one of those.
I know for me, when I get a book, I have a habit, which I didn't realize until much, much later. I have a habit of using the receipt as the bookmark. So I'll be scrolling through and I'll pull a book out for whatever reason, you know, and I'll happen to flip it open and there's the receipt and I'll go, oh my God, you know, 1985, you know, July. And then there's that nostalgia that comes back. What the heck was I doing? Oh my God, I got this there and I was with this person and this happened and, you know, and there's that little bit of the connection, which I don't know if I'm going to have when, you know, I scroll back through to the Kindle app and, you know, reread something that I downloaded 2 years ago. I don't know if it's going to just ring the same with me.
You're not going to walk by and see it either.
Yeah.
Catch your eye.
Yeah.
Oh, there's that.
Unless I'm filing things alphabetically
Yeah.
and I happen to, you know, be looking for
Scroll. There it is.
Well, lastly, we got a few minutes left, but my last question here for you guys. What's going to be written on your tombstone when they put you in the ground?
We were talking about that the other day. We went out to Evansville, Evans City, to the cemetery out there. And I was laughing because I wanted to put down there, you know, born, died, reanimated, question. And that all stemmed from, we went to take pictures last couple weeks ago. And we went out to, there's this old graveyard and out in the middle of this cornfield in Illinois. They're like all little family plots. The last person that was buried there was in like 1901, and all the tombstones were falling over and they're all in decay. And as we're walking in there to find a picture, there's this big hole in the ground where something literally like this big had decided to dig down next to one of these tombstones, and I was like, hey, look, they want to move.
Here Lies Mike died in 3005 or something. I don't know. Something with a weird year. So like, it's not even the year yet. And he's dead. That's me. Oh, typos. All right.
Here highs Mike.
Yeah, there you go.
Here live.
Actually, Mike's right behind you. That'd be a good one.
One of those little back in 5 minutes things.
The army.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, no, my tombstone's gonna be Kindle.
Use some like random thing like LOL or something. That way in like, you know, 75 years, like, what?
Oh, what's lol?
What's that thing?
That is no.
Guys, thank you very much.
No.
I appreciate you being patient with our slightly abbreviated panel. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. Buy a book.
Yeah, I got books out there. Stop by.
Toe tag?
Toe tag.
I've got nothing.
Got some leather.
Buy that. It's free.
You have cards.
I have
Got
business
cards?
Yeah,
Some piece of paper?
$50 a piece. Pretty cheap.
I'll sign it if you want.
Go to boundbetween.com or read my online web novel.
Now.
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 Right now. It's available in web format.